Hello everybody and welcome to a new video. This one is a slightly different one to what I normally do. It's going to be talking about the things that we've had through the new beta, mainly aimed at people who are returning or are thinking of returning to X4, or who maybe have just been not interested in the betas at this time or are stuck with the 4.2 and not gone over to the 5.0 betas. So obviously we've had 4 betas up to this point. And I want to talk about things that have been added and the reasons why you want to be getting back into the game now more than ever. The first one is that they've improved the graphical changes in such a way that actually your system should now run it a lot better. They've increased things like support for AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution, FSR, and a lot of other little background things that just basically optimize the system a little bit more, and it's definitely noticeable. The other major thing as well is obviously a lot of people were upset over the mining changes. They've actually reworked some of that back into the game in terms of your miners now don't sit and stir a rock for hours and wonder what it's going to do with it and then decides to mine it. They get in there, they mine the resources and get the resources collected much more faster, better, and just it's a lot easier. In terms of that though, we do have pirates that are now in the system more often than not, so you definitely need to be defending your miners, but the trade-off is far better than what it used to be. So your resources should be a lot better and you should be seeing a lot more production overall, which is great. They still haven't changed things where certain sectors have better resources. I think that change was good. It felt more realistic because you're not going to find every single sector with all of these massive amounts of resources, so you've got to really think about where you're setting things up. So just, you know, bear that in mind still, but it is far better and much more improved. You can definitely see the changes. So as I say, this is aimed at people who may be interested in what's added into the game, so we're going to be talking about things that I've added. So a couple of new things that obviously I've mentioned: the support for AMD Fidelity FX, but they've added new things actually into the game. First one was scrap recycling. So beta 1 brought in scrap recycling, which was a bit of an up and down at the start, but it's now finally getting to some use. There are talks of things that's going to be coming to that, but these are all hearsay at the moment, or things that they're trying to get in, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. The second one, which was a major one for me, which I did cover, was new Parody capital ship designs, which yes, are mainly to the Pyramids, but you're starting to see them from other factions as well. They're all starting to buy them, and they are amazing. If you haven't already seen them, then make sure you check out the video that I did cover the ship designs. They do look amazing, far better than the old designs. Hopefully they'll bring in new designs for the other factions as well, but we've got no confirmation on that. The other one as well is there's an actual personal office now on your HQ. This is great because there have been new additions made in the final beta, or the final beta of what we've currently got, that allow you to do certain things whilst you're in your personal office, or whilst you're sat down I should say. And the personal office comes with a chair that you can sit down in and actually access all your facilities, like your map, your encyclopedia, whatever it is you want to actually access. So it's almost like flying a ship, but not flying a ship. Really useful, and I'll come to that shortly why it's useful. So these are all new features. What have they actually added? There are new achievements that have been added. Always good for those of you who are achievement hunters. If you want to go out there looking for them, then check them out. Added special NPCs. Now we haven't covered this for a reason, because I don't want to spoil what's coming up with them, but they offer new mission chains, which is great. More missions are coming in that are not specifically fixed to the campaign, so there's not a Terran storyline, it's different chains altogether, which is awesome. Production methods have been added to the encyclopedia as well, so you can actually see production methods. There's quite a lot of them in there, so you can have a look at them beforehand. The possibility to change equipment of multiple ships. Now I know a lot of people have been after this, and it has now been arrived. So if you've got a ship of the same model and you've got 10 of them, then you can change them all at the same time, which is really useful. Added the option to control whether player ships wait for players under certain circumstances, so you can actually set it whether the player will wait whilst you're on a docking station, or whether it will wait at a certain time, or whether it will just carry on doing its own thing. New voices have been added as well. Faction representatives have new voices, new voice actors, which are pretty awesome. New default behavior, a local auto trade, and there's a local auto mine as well. These are brilliant. They basically replace what you used to have for auto trade and auto mine. It was definitely needed, because obviously we didn't have anything for a 0-star captain. So now we've got something that you can actually do. It'll add to just that sector, which is pretty awesome. You can now retrieve from internal storage, option for stored ships. Mouse steering HUD indicators. Buttons for quick access to map filters, which are very useful as well. Trade offer icons to map legend. So the map legend actually has been improved with various additional icons. Text to explain status icons in logical station overview. These are brilliant. They actually tell you a bit more information about what you're actually looking at. The hull integrity efficiency display to logical station overview. Basically, if your station's hull integrity is 100%, then it's more efficient. If it's more damaged, then it's less efficient. Hull info to station modules in object list and property owned menus, so you can see info about your hulls. Hull and shield details to hull shield bar mouse over text. So basically when you put your cursor over, you can see your hull and shield details, which is pretty handy if you want to have a look at it at a bit of a glance on the map. Mouse over text to explain warning icons for research entries. That's also very useful, so you can find out what actual problems are. Added icons to improve display of workforce capacity and growth effects. They are much more improved. You can actually see now your growth effects that are occurring, and it's just a lot easier to understand. Added a preview for default ship skin in custom game start editor, so you can now see in your custom game start what the default ship skin is going to be. Added reloading UI message when changing certain settings. Warning when client becomes modified during gameplay. I know some people have had this issue where the client becomes modified and it messes up behind them. This has now been adjusted so that it'll actually give you a bit of a warning, which is very useful. Apparently a lot of people have been caught with that in the past. Added info about saves being modified to load game menu. An added option for mods to specify maximum supported version of game or other required extensions. Basically, if you're a modder now, you can actually have it where it's specifically, you know, if it's only for 4.2, it's going to state that it's only for 4.2. It's pretty useful. So that was what Beta 1 brought in for us, and it was definitely needed. As I said, there are a lot of things that were changed and removed and added and adjusted and stuff like that. But as I said, I don't want to go through all the improvements because there were so many of them. This video will be like 2 hours long trying to go through them. I will make sure all the links are in the descriptions below if you do want to check that out in your own time. I'm just going to cover what's been added. So Beta 1 brought all that into us, and obviously it came with its own problems. However, Beta 2 was soon not long out after that, and it brought in more additions and more repairs. So now we had the raw scrap processing module to the logical station overview, which is a new feature in 5.0. This is all the processing, the one that I mentioned in Beta 1. Added scrap metal processing information in the encyclopedia. Added welfare and processing modules to custom game start editor. So you got the new welfare module and new processing modules that are now available. Added alarm sounds for enemy proximity and enemy attacks. Now there are placeholders in, but there are new sounds coming, so when an enemy ship is nearby, it will give you a bit of a warning. And added new multi-tiered fight music tracks. These are pretty awesome, so now instead of having the standard fight combat music, it changed it up, and it was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. So Beta 2 didn't bring too much of additions in. It brought in a lot of fixes because there are a lot of things that were wrong, and they did bring it out in a big hit, and it seemed to have fixed a lot of problems, which was great. So as I said, that was Beta 2. Then we had Beta 3 shortly after that, again with more additions. We added a cooldown timer to station storage hacking. Added notification if player on capital ship is ordered to go mining but has no mining drones, which was useful. Added markers for failed orders in map menu. So now basically if you've got a failed order, you get a little marker next to your ships that tells you that they've had a failed order. Me personally, I find that's a little bit cluttering, so I hope they add the option to remove it if you want to, or hide it, should I say, because you get lots of orange icons all over the thing. Now, back to what I said about having your own station personal office in your headquarters, on why it was so useful, because now you can sit down and it basically gives you the ability to act as though you are controlling a ship. Obviously you're not flying anywhere. What it does mean is you can now enable the seater drive. So if you've unlocked seater, you can actually operate it while sitting in your chair or standing at a terminal. The personal office is a lot quieter. There's a lot less noise. You don't get any of the talk over from the stations. You know, talking the advert side of things. where it's making fake adverts up and telling you about ships and stuff like that. That doesn't appear in your personal office, so it's a lot quieter. And now when you've got the ability to use the C to drive, it makes it so much easier. So that was the additional parts from Beta 3. There were also major improvements, again, with the things like the added welfare module. Now, it did specifically mention the welfare module, but there was a welfare module added. And that I'm not going to go into too much, but it does improve on your, basically your recruitment of personnel, which is really good. So then we finally had, or up to this stage, we finally had two things appear. Number one was the Tides of Avarice soundtrack preview, which was awesome. And then the final Beta 4, or at least I'm presuming is the final. There may be a Beta 5 yet, but at this stage it's currently only Beta 4. Added hidden pirate operations that may include valuable targets. Added new equipment mods. Added 5th subordinate group for station subordinates. Added support for copy and pasting text fields. So now you can actually copy and paste your text from the menus. You know, when you go up to the, like your name or something like that, or if you want to name different ships and you want to cut and paste certain parts of it, you can do that now. Added info about production cycles per hour in the encyclopedia. So now we have the information about the production, like all the different productions and stuff like that, and what the cycles were from. You can now have it cycled per hour. Added station upkeep and storage information to selected object sections in map menus. So that's really useful whilst you're in the map. Added default behavior icons to object list and property owned menus. So basically now you can see the default behaviors, which was really useful. Added the button to logical station overview to pause, unpause processing module. So if you want to, say you had a station that was doing multiple things and it was taking all the resources to do one thing, and the other thing you really needed, you were really low on, you know, throughout the entire galaxy, you really needed, like, you just needed it, and you want to put all your resources into it, you can pause the other processing, and then dedicate all of your resources to going into that one that you want more of, which is really useful. And that was it that they added on the Beta 4. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to get a Beta 5. I've not heard anything yet, but there has been a lot added already, and it has made some major changes. I am extremely looking forward to seeing what the DLC is going to bring with us. We have had mention of, obviously, the pirate stuff, but what actually is going to come in, we don't know. What I will say is, on the side of piracy, the Kark and the Xenon are a lot more of a bigger threat, especially the Kark. They will strike your forces a lot more regularly. They will build up in large numbers and keep building up and keep building up unless you take them out. And they will build like in your sectors, you'll have like 7 or 8 stations built up, all belonging to them. So just be wary of that and keep an eye out. But it does mean that you have to defend your miners. You have to be getting your patrols out there and your police forces out there, and they've all been improved so that they all operate better, but you now need them. Instead of sending out 20 mining ships and forgetting about them and having all this money and resources coming in, you've really got to defend them, like you would if the universe was a place where there are pirates operating. So they've definitely made some good changes to it. Overall, it's been a major improvement, and you should definitely check it out. As I say, if you want to check out the design of the new ships, do make sure you check out the video that I posted about that earlier on in time. Hopefully, this is giving you a chance to see what the new additions are, and that you are interested in coming back, or if you're already here and you're ready to play the 5.0 beta, then you do either consider playing it before the new DLC comes out, or you know what you're looking forward to when it officially releases. That is it for this episode. I want to keep it nice and sweet. The information in the background, so the images that you're seeing in the background are from what Egosoft very kindly offered me as a part of the B-roll for the Tides of Avarice. So you can have a little snippet of obviously what they released. It's basically kind of the same stuff, but just the reject of the images. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing the actual game in full. On that note, make sure you stay tuned. I will be giving you any information that I find on the new DLC, the Tides of Avarice, as soon as I am able to. and when the release comes, we will be covering it fully, where we will actually complete both campaigns. I'm presuming there's going to be 2 campaigns. There usually are in each expansion, but we will be completing both campaigns so that you can see both sides of them. However, we will be delaying the release, obviously, in case you don't want to see spoilers, so that you can go ahead and play the game yourself. Otherwise, you can obviously watch them here, and I will cover anything that I can beforehand, like new ships and stuff like that. So hopefully that's going to be something fun to check out. As always, let me know in the comment section if there's anything you want me to go through with on X4, if there's anything that we've missed or anything that you want me to pay more attention to. As always as well, if you enjoyed this video, then please make sure you hit that thumbs up button, like, comment, subscribe, and I will hopefully have some more information for you soon. But until next time, everybody, take care for now, and I shall see you all in the next one. Bye bye for now.